Good afternoon, everybody. Another hopefully interesting video is coming up. And this jumped the line. This is an Allegro. I believe that was the model series. And it is a table top stereo, AM/FM stereo with a built-in changer. Okay, let me get this off just to show. It's got problems like, I don't know whether that shows, there's a big old crack in the dust cover, which I will have to make a way somehow to repair. Now, to show you just how old I am, I sold and serviced these things. These are mid-60s to late 60s Zenith. And in my prime, I have worked for 2 different Zenith dealers and sort of loved the products. I wasn't too impressed with this, but this has a very interesting tone arm in that it's purportedly micro 2G, and it means that it should be tracking at 2 grams, which is quite a feat for a changer. This is basically a VM voice of music changer, custom designed for Zenith. But what it has, pardon me, very interestingly, is a floating cartridge. Now, I can't really show that too well. Get my arm out of the way here. I've got the stylus out because I wanted to test it to see whether I had to order one. So when it lands on the record, this is sort of spring-loaded, but this can float up and down, semi-independent of the tone arm. And somebody gave me one of these changers many millennia ago, and I actually took the cartridge out and put a magnetic cartridge in, and with adjusting of the tracking pressure, it played at 2 to 3 grams quite well. I was very impressed with it. I've wanted one of these things for a long time, not to own particularly, but just to service. I haven't serviced a VM changer in 30 years. I don't know. At any rate, I'm going to power it up, and I already have, but I'll show what I find online to everybody who watches. Anyhow, you've got phono and off, and the phono to the left of off means that when you turn on the turntable, it powers up the amplifier, so it means that when the last record is done, it stops. Well, I can just go through this now. As you can tell, there's next to no movement at all. So the mechanism needs a real servicing, and that is what I want to work on right now. Okay, so we'll go off and tape input AM. I don't know why they put FM at the back. Turn the volume down.
Yeah, well, it's been exactly 1 year.
So we can get some FM, okay.
My mother's getting older.
And both channels work.
And this,
controls are scratchy. Oh, things are falling apart. We've lost our lone AM station, so there will be no point in trying to pick up anything AM on it. So that's the situation. What I'm going to do off camera is turn this thing on its side, or however I can access it, and remove the changer so I can work on that, and that's what I want to show. It'll be a relearning experience for me because, like I said, I haven't serviced one of these things. Serviced a lot of Garage and BSRs and Caleros, a lot of changers, but I haven't had one of these things to look at in ages and ages. So hang on, I'll do all this off camera, and I'll be back. Okay, there is the bottom of the changer removed. If I can get this skewed in there, it all starts to look familiar. Yeah, okay. All these grease points all have to be done. Now, I honestly don't remember these. There's a little aside I can tell you. If you're intending to work on most, I would say, modern changers, modern of the era from, late 50s to 80s, I guess, maybe, or a little earlier, they have what they call, I don't know what they call them, but at any rate, these are the hold-down clips. And I've seen people online pry them off, and you never have to do that. When they're mounted on the deck, they're flipped down, both of them, and that means that while it can float on the springs, it can't be lifted up, so it can't fall out of, if it's a portable record player, whatever, it cannot happen, okay? And if you need to remove it from the plinth or the deck, then you have to reach underneath somehow. You can't reach it from the top. And you flip these down, and then they will allow you to pull the deck up from the holes that these things slide through, and you're free, and they never have to come off, okay? So, 2-pole motor, and phono jacks to feed your signal into the amp and your power. Now I'm using just something to plug it in there. As it sits in the actual cabinet, there is a return from the switch, which is underneath here, which will turn the unit on when the changer is activated. Okay, so we'll turn it right side up. Stylus is out, and it will stay out for the short term. What I found with the stylus, so here I'm throwing it in with everything else and breaking things, which isn't handy. I better put that somewhere safe. I wanted to check the stylus. This is a push and turn stylus. When you push this down, the little knob down, and turn it depending on which way the dial is pointing. You can point to 78, and the 3mm stylus will be there, and if you put it on LP, then the 0.7mm stylus will be in play. So I wanted to know whether I had to actually order one, and what I found, to my surprise, is that the 78 side of the stylus is broken right off. And the LP, or the 0.7mm stylus, is in relatively good shape as far as I can tell, which is fine. I will never want to play a 78 on here. There's no need for it. And that saves me, I forget what it is, $42 for the replacement stylus. And I'm going, my God. So if I haven't broken it by leaving it in there, I'm going to put it somewhere safe. Thank you. Now, to get the platter off, because the motor does not turn the platter. Oh, God. I had forgotten these. That's brittle as all get out. It's just a rubber ring that doesn't want to pry. Let's see what I can persuade it with. There we go. And that, there we go. That's already done, so I'll need something to replace that with. And get the platter out. There's a top of the bearing. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's going to be a problem. Get that off. Get that off. It's no wonder it's not driving the... It is rock solid. And I mean rock solid. That's going to stop me right there in my tracks. It's going to be the shortest video. I am not sure I want to invest the kind of money it takes to replace this. There are very few people who are doing idler restorations, and it's going to cost a fortune. And most of them are in the States. And as most people know, we're in the middle of a trade war with the Americans for various things, and the cost, as well as the difference in the dollar and the shipping, and the very fact that I am not at all happy about dealing with any American companies at all at the moment. Pardon me for being political, or even ever. This may be a system killer. The rest of the stereo I haven't shown, but it's quite elaborate. I really don't remember this. It was a surprise. It's got TO3 outputs in push-pull, which means it's probably good for about 15, 20 watts per channel, maybe. One thing I didn't mention when I showed the top of the deck is that these things, I believe the series was Allegro, and most of these were sold as Circle of Sound, and they had round drum type speaker systems which looked very sleek and modern, but they sounded horrible. Those were missing. I think I mentioned previously that this was given to me by a customer that had inquired about repairing it and decided they didn't want to proceed. So they offered it to me, and I said yes. But it came without speaker systems. And I've subsequently, while I still had access to my woodworking shop, I built a couple of speaker systems. If I can tilt the camera, you can just barely see them there, one stacked on the other. They have Phillips drivers, the Phillips 6-inch woofer with a whizzer cone, and then I found cone tweeters from something, and I built boxes for them and put new surround on the woofer, so they sound actually pretty good. So this was to go with this system for whatever. And now I'm stuck. Now I can try. Oh, this is solid all the way over. I don't think I have a ghost of a chance of doing anything. You know, if it was just hard on the edge, I can try soaking it, but then I'd have to get back to you in about 6 months, putting it in brake fluid. I've got 3 idlers sitting in brake fluid already, and the last one that I did worked out very well, and it was about a year sitting in it, and now the idler works fine, but it was already more pliable than this. So whatever VM used for their idler is not done very well. For what have we got? Say it's 65, so that's 35, 45, 55, 60 years ago. Yikes. Oh well, I can't blame it. At any rate, not much. If I can't get a drive going to the platter, then there's not much sense going on at the moment. So this is the shortest video on record. Oh dear. Okay. So stay tuned. I'm going to go price and see what I can find, if there is a reasonable replacement out there. We'll see. I hate to let this go. It's part of my ancient history. So we'll see. Okay. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Okay. Well, I didn't think I'd be back quite so soon. I may have found a solution to my problem. Okay, there is the idler. It's sitting in the brake fluid. But what I did, it doesn't really show there, is that I found in my bunch of very cheap flea bay belts, one that was just a little too tight, and I managed to put it on, and it played fine until it flipped off. So what I did was put it on, made sure it was flat and even with the edge. Where are we? There. Oh, pardon me. And I put a bead of crazy glue around. Now it's on and it drives and it's working very well, except that it's slightly out of round. So it makes a bit of mechanical noise, which you can hear through the speakers if you listen close. So what I'm doing is, in case the original rubber, which is now really, really tight, firm, bricked, I will soak it for X period of time in the brake fluid and see if we can't soften that up enough so that I can true it up maybe on my drill press with a sharp edge running against it and try and true it up. In the meantime, I thought, well, okay, I'll continue with the presumption that I'll be able to make this a success. In the meantime, I did check prices, and they're pretty horrendous for somebody in my income bracket. But we'll just continue, and that's that. So the next thing is, I can do the motor. I think everybody's seen a lot of taking the bearings apart. But what I want to do is see if I can get the center bearing out, and then I'll soak that in some alcohol. If I can get it to fall out. No such luck. Probably glued in there. It's down deep in a well. Well. Oh, there it comes. Wow, we got it. It's pretty sticky. And there will be, see if I can get that to fall out. No such luck. All right. Boy, it's awkward here. There it is. I don't know whether that shows on camera, but I got it. Okay, so that's the bearing. You know, unless I've lost something. Yep, I have. Okay, there's the top slip washer, the bottom slip washer, and the bearing itself in the races. Yeah, kind of grotty. All right, I'll see if I can find another vessel to put them to soak in. You know, I probably don't have one here. Oh well, talk about being prepared. See what I've got there. Okay, it's probably reasonable to soak these in some isopropyl. So it means cleaning them will be that much easier. Okay, while they're soaking, I shall turn the fella over and see if I can get some of this crud off of the mechanism. Usually that means using a lot of Q-tips and scrubbing away. Oh, yeah. Some of that is like iron on there. So using a little bit of brute force usually helps. Let's see what we got on this side. Oh, everything is. No wonder it doesn't want to go through the cycle. So I was impressed that I was able to get some sort of resurfacing or additional surface on the idler that actually made the unit function. And it works fine. It's just a little bit noisy in the background because the idler does rub up against the, oh gee, that's tough. Rub up against the turntable, the inner part of the turntable, and that of course transfers all sorts of mechanical noise. And what can you do? I'm going to end up having to foot the bill on a replacement idler, since I've glued this belt to the surface of it. Oh, I don't think it matters for them. I think they take the whole rubber surface off completely, and then however they manage it, they form a new, as if it's a as if it's a brand new mechanism or surface that they're doing. They have some sort of a device that they can inject. Oh boy, that is tough. They can inject some rubber or whatever formulation they use and make the idler as it was when it was brand new. Now, once I get all the grease off, I shall relube it with some lithium that I have. It's not too bad, except that what's on there is really like iron. Yeah. Okay. Now I've got the idler soaking, so I cannot take it out. Well, I could, except that I don't want to take it out of the bath and clean it all off in order to try it. So I think I will let it soak for maybe at least a week, and then I'll try it out and hope for the best. I'm spending an awful lot of time on ancient technology that a lot of other people wouldn't even care to bother. But somehow it's important to me, and I shall do it because it is important to me. That's not too bad. You see, these mechanisms now, they're variations on them all. Gerard has theirs. The drive cam gear is above the deck. The garage is above the deck, and this one is below the deck. It's a little sticky still. I guess if I have to take this whole assembly off. I've done it before, but like I said, it's been ages. Now watch me screw this up and not remember how to get it all back together. But I am going to take it off. I want that gear out of its mount. What do we got here? Why won't it release? What's holding it? Do I have to take that off? It'll, okay, should be a 3/16. Oh my goodness. It is, or is that a 5/16? Take that off. Okay. It's not as straightforward as I remember. Oh, look at there. Let's see. That's the reason why you've got to take it apart. Dirty. 60 some odd years of contamination. Oh boy. It's really glue. God. Yeah. I don't know what you can expect out of something that's been around this long and maybe has never been serviced. It doesn't show any signs of additional attention. And I honestly don't remember what Zenith used, or VM, Voice of Music, Seabreeze, used in their original lubrication. Boy, you know, gotta get vicious here. I can find my good old toothbrush, and I will start to scrub. It's not that I need it pristine, I just need it pristine enough to function. Most of this is pretty sturdy, but you've got that and this that are fairly thin extrusions. Sometimes I feel I need something a little stronger than isopropyl alcohol. Then it gets a little more toxic for me to be working. This is not an environment that has great ventilation. That's looking reasonable. Let's see what we've got here. That's running free. That's running free. This is not. I know that. I could feel it when I was opening it. Okay, so this is now in for a penny. Take the C-clip off. And get that off. Oh, what have I lost? Okay. That's the pusher rod for the center post. Right in there. Oh yeah, that does not want to come out. Oh boy. Yeah, there's the main reason why it has got difficulty going through the cycle. If I keep wiggling it, I'll get it out, I think. Otherwise, if I heat it, it will come out. Ah, got it. Oh, yes. There's our main problem there. Ouch! And there was a problem there. When I ran it through its cycle, it kicked the tone arm right back when it tripped. And that could easily be the reason there. Not sure. Like I said, I have had many decades between me and Voice of Music changer. So it's a learning experience. If you haven't, as a viewer, come across this before, then we're almost in the same boat. I should probably zoom in a bit. Jeez. Ooh, takes off some of the plating. That's always fun. Okay, and then I need to clean this out. And then generally I believe it's when you have a bearing situation that is at slow revolutions, it's better to use a light grease than an oil. Whereas when you have something that runs fast, better to use some oil. And if I'm wrong, somebody please go ahead and correct me. So I have some white lithium grease, and you just put a light coating. And fingers are always good for that. Oh, what a difference. That was probably the main reason why. All right. We'll put this back on. I'm handling the motor and it's feeling quite warm, even though it hasn't been on for a while. Okay, now, I've got to remember which way things go. And that is under there, and that is under there. I think that's, I should have taken pictures. Not sure whether that goes on that side or not. You know, I think it's upside down. Yeah. Oh, God. That goes underneath there. Yeah. And that does not go up there, but I think it goes up there. And that goes under there. Whoa! Is it coming together or what? Whoop. Oh, I didn't like that. Let's see if that works any better. Yeah. Can you see that? Now we're locked. Okay. I guess I should have followed others' comments to take pictures before you take it apart. Well, one way or the other, I will get it. I hope. It's got to be under there. That's got to go under there, but it's not going to do it without a fight. This is where I want to turn off the camera so I can curse. Is that it? No. No, that needs to be down. So what's holding it? It's got to be underneath that. That's the problem I had. If I loosen this, so I can raise that, will that go underneath then? Yes, it will. And there it is. There it is. Oh, dare I think? Think I dare? Get everybody on and then try running it through the cycle. What am I missing? I'm missing a big bolt. Oh, yes, the center post. I think I can run that through. Oh, my goodness. It runs. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Sometimes I think I'm a genius. Don't quote me. Okay. Try not to get too much lube on this, but just enough. Oh, it's running nicely now. And I guess we should have some there. Spread it around a bit. Now I wished I had the, there's some there. I wished I had the idler available. But it's running nice. That is nice. Considering I haven't done one of these things in decades. Now, where is that mechanism? That goes, nope, that goes there. Now, what pushes that? That pushes that, I think. No, that's not right. Well, nothing's moving. Ah, what's that tab? Well, that's no good. Let's run that in. Whoops. And see what it does. This is why I wanted to oh, there it is. Can you see that? Why don't I zoom down a bit? Okay, that's what I missed because it was on the other side. This, where are we? Here. That's the tab, okay? Now you can see when it starts, it gets to the certain part, and then it pushes this fella forward, and that will trigger the drop mechanism. Okay, well that wasn't nearly as difficult as I thought it would be. I suppose at this point I should do the motor, which is the easy way to do it. Okay, I'll take off the C-clips. One, two, and you know, for as bad as the idler was or is, these are very soft. I would rather have them be a problem than the idler. Before I forget it, I will clean this shaft off. Oop. There's that little fiber thing that I've just creased. Ah. Damaged it. I have. Put it in there. Remember to there's something else that needs lubricating, and that's the change. Okay, so what have we got here? Let's get this into frame. Gee, the motor's running very smoothly. Okay, so I take off this. Can everybody see that? Oh, it's stiff. All right. That's that. That's that. That's half of it. And is this 1/4 inch? It is. Look at this. I love old technology. All my nut drivers and screwdrivers actually fit. Isn't that interesting? There you go. Oh, it's dry as a bone. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Comes out with nothing. So that's why it was getting warm. It was running fine, but it was getting very warm. All right, where's my trusty little oil applicator? And this has, if you can see it, it's got a felt pad in there clamped in place, and that will soak up the oil. Okay, and then keep releasing it into the bearing, which somebody has instructed me along the line is, now can I get that off, is what they call sintered bearings. And it's a treatment where the, what have we got here? Oh, that's already loose. Where the bearing is made of bronze, I believe, and it is porous, so that when you soak it in oil, it does penetrate the actual bearing. And so when you put a felt pad around it and soak it in oil, it will keep. Oh God, here we go. Ouch. There's that. There's that. Let's see if I can keep it in the same position. Take that out. It's running good. What can I do? Well, I could have done this without taking it apart, I guess. Clean the surface. That's bits and pieces of idler that's in there. All I can do is, I can't release this. All I can do is put a healthy bit of oil in and spin it, move it up and down, and put it back. All right. Put it back the way it came. Yeah, right. And you put one in, and the other falls out. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. Oh. Now I've screwed up here somehow. Isn't that wonderful? Is that supposed to be over there? That's better. Jeez. All right. So I can put that on. Tighten it up somewhat. And that one. and tighten it up somewhat. And then I've got to slip this in. Oh dear. Now, that one goes there. I think. It goes like that. Okay. So this one has... No. This one goes from the bottom. I need another hand. Is anybody handy? Put that on there. Is that right now? I think so. We'll see. Oh, wait a sec. I've forgotten something. It's called the bottom bearing. I'm hoping this is the right configuration. Otherwise, I'll be taking it apart again. Well, that's not right, is it? And that is just... No. No, totally wrong. That's it there. So this goes on the other side. My mistake. Put it over here and have it fall down. Put this up. And I'm doing this for my own benefit, but I don't know whether everybody or anybody can see what the heck I'm doing here. I'm tethered to the deck because of the wiring, so that makes it problematical. Okay, now that will go on there. Okay, now that should fit in there, and it does. Okay, so that part, pardon me, that part is fine. So now we just need everybody tightening up, and I need another another bolt. Where the heck did the other bolt go? Oh boy. I'm missing something. And it's a short fella, but it still is a bolt. Oh. What have I done? That has to be in there. That has to be in there. And neither one of them are particularly tight. Actually, maybe that doesn't get to be in there. Because there's no detent for it. My mistake. Yeah, okay, I'll show you in a minute why I've come to that conclusion. Okay, I was putting it in this hole here, and there's no recess, no divot, and so therefore it doesn't go. The motor is mounted with just two, where'd that go? Just two mounts to that mounting bracket. Okay, that's all it needs. And then the mounting bracket goes through the deck, and that's why it wasn't sitting down properly. Okay, so now there's a recess in here, whereas there wasn't one there. So now we're good to go. Whoa, running nice. Now, do I have a clean cloth or paper towel to clean this off? Yeah, I'm happy now, or close to it. Okay, and it's fitting up there. Needs the C-clips. That's one. That's two. And that's, whoops, almost three. Now, I'm not replacing these grommets. They are so soft and pliable, they're just fine. They're essentially like new. Okay, motor's done. The turntable thrust bearing is soaking. Clean off some of this carb. It's down deep in there. Look at that. Okay. So we've got one washer all cleaned. Okay, and where are we? Let's do this in frame so people can see. Rub this down again. It's not very. Let's do this instead. Makes the resolution better. Okay. Just scrub it. Get all this out. It's going to need some persuasion. Nope, that's not going to work. How about that? Oh, yeah. Maybe my little toothbrush will work. That looks pretty good. Okay. I'd call that pretty good. And we need this to be filled with lithium. Okay. Slide that down. Get this back up. Slide this down. Get the third washer and clean it off. And get it down. Okay. That leaves getting the turntable itself, which is dried up grease in there. Oh my God, it's coming out like a lump. I'm sorry. I'm so busy concentrating on what I'm doing, I'm not keeping it in frame. Okay, now I need a clean piece of paper towel and clean the inner rim. Okay, and maybe a touch of lithium down there. All right. Now I'm getting this all done, but I haven't got an idler wheel, so it's all going to be continued. So I'll put this on, and this, I don't remember VMs being so difficult to get the turntable down. Ta-da! All right. It's going to need some general cleaning up. And I guess that's it. Get it up a bit. All right, so that's all I can do tonight. And it is night now. I'm not sure how long I'll want to leave the idler sitting in there. If it doesn't work out to be as good as I'd hoped, then you'll hear a few cuss words. No, you won't. I'll edit it before it gets published. And we'll try it. I don't know how many days I want to leave it. With the state of that idler, it could probably do with 6 months in there. I really want it going before that. So at any rate, let me just get this up on my makeshift stands. I gotta do something better than this. All right, we haven't got an idler, but I can. Oh yeah. Oh, what was that? Oh, I've done something wrong. Oh well. Okay, to be continued. All right, I still think I'll stop that for tonight. I've got something where it should actually go into the 45 position at this point in time. And it's not, it's locking there. So something I put back together isn't quite right. It's all right. We shall figure it out. All right, I shall say good night for now. And good morning on this day before the first big snow blow of the year for southern Ontario. Not looking forward to that, of course. I did not think I'd be back so soon. It's only been a few days. However, I did something that has been so successful, it surprised the heck out of me. And I'll share that with you now, just in case anybody's in the same boat. Now, for some reason, all the idlers that are on VM, Voice of Music, Seabreeze Changer, become hard as a rock. And I've got two of them. I had forgotten I had a little portable stereo with a sort of end-of-line Voice of Music changer in it. And I thought, oh, okay, this one's bad in this Zenith version. I'll go take that one apart. I can rob it from there. And I did, and it's just in the same bad situation. So I think, as I mentioned before, having to send these out, especially to the States, it's expensive. The exchange rate, the tariff rate, the shipping, the back and forth shipping, because you must send your dud unit in before they will send you another one. They either rebuild the one you've sent in, or they will have one in stock they will send you once you have that. It's too expensive, and it's, frankly, as much as I'd like to restore this Zenith, it's really not practical. So, in my desperation, I looked in my box of eBay purchased flat belts of many different sizes, none of which proved to be of any use. However, I did find one that was slightly smaller than the outside diameter of this, and I don't know whether you can see it. What I did was put the idler upside down on the bench, and with many fingers stretch the belt around the end of it. And I tried it, and it worked for a few revolutions, and of course the belt flipped off. So what I did was put it on again and ran a bead of crazy glue, I don't know whether you can see the shiny parts on the edge, all the way around the edge in order to secure it on there. So I let it cure for a day, and then I put it on, and lo and behold, it worked. Now, it was a bit thumpy, and you could hear it from the mechanical noise on the deck, and the reason, I believe, is that the idler that I'm gluing it to is like hard plastic, and B, I may most likely have not gotten the replacement belt on here evenly distributed all the way around. So I put it on, and it worked, and I can't believe it worked, but it did. And then what I did was, in order to make this practical or possible or acceptable, I took a flat file, put the speed on 78, and held the file up against the edge of the idler while really pushing it hard into the motor shaft or the motor pulley, and sort to try and even out the surface. Now, when I got that done and put it back on, lo and behold, the actual noise level coming through from the pickup of the cartridge was negligible. And if I put my ear quite close to this, I could barely hear it. So I would say that is quite a success story. And I'm impressed. It may just have saved the day. So I'll show you, if I can put this back on and not contaminate the surface. And I've managed to mislay the little washer that goes on top, but I'll put this on anyhow, and then I'll go looking for a replacement at a different time. I'll put the clip in, and boy, is that a small clip. And there it is. Now I'll get, just in case I've contaminated it, give it a slight clean with some alcohol. And I've pulled off a little bit of whatever. Okay. Now, put the platter back on. And this is a problem that I don't seem to have with any other changers, in that it will not settle down till you pull that. There, it's in. Now, to protect the stylus, let me back that up a bit. No, I have to lift that up a bit. To protect the stylus while I was fudging around with it, I have, first of all, put the stylus on the 78 side. So I think it's in cycle. Yeah. Put that down. Whoop. Push and turn. Okay, now that's in. And we should be ready for some demonstration. Now again, I can't place records on and play them without getting a possible copyright hit. So it'll be done. Okay. It really doesn't struggle. Okay, that's all I can do for that. But as you can see, it goes through the cycle nicely, and I can barely hear any noise coming from the table itself. So I'm pleased that is now going to be repaired. Since I put the last video section together, I had a ton of problems with this, mostly because of my non-familiarity with this mechanism. Like I said, it's been probably 60 years since I last encountered one. And I had problems with the center post not dropping, and I had to make some modifications. What I think happened is when I took it apart, there should be a ball bearing inside there that the pusher pushes up against, and there wasn't anything there. So I found a ball bearing and put it in, but it wasn't the right size, I don't think. And I had to modify the bracket in order to contact this to push it. And other problems with tracking. Considering this is supposed to be a 2G or 2 gram tracking weight, it wouldn't push the trip mechanism. And I had to take everything apart and clean the little trip pawl that goes into the gear and kicks the change cycle gear into operation. And when I got that, it finally did. And then I measured the tracking weight as it came to me. Now, whether it had been changed or not, I don't know. But it did not track at 2 grams. It was 2.5 grams. And just to be on the safe side, I don't have a problem with a ceramic cartridge tracking a little more. So I set it for 3 grams, which is done horizontally through a hole in the rear of the front part of the rear of the tone arm here. And it's a spring adjustment. And it's now tracking at just a little under 3 grams, and it's tracking fine. The tone arm moves with the record, and the stylus basically doesn't move. It just wiggles in the grooves, which is what it's supposed to do. Anytime you have a stylus that sways back and forth, that means your tone arm, the compliance of your tone arm is pretty bad. And it always was good on this one until I got to the end, and then the trip mechanism really created a problem for it. Now everything is fine. The stylus, however old the stylus is, it's fine. I checked it under the scope, and there's no appreciable wear, which is amazing if it's the original stylus. I kind of doubt that it is. The cartridge is amazing because this unit should be about 60 years old this year. It's mid 60s, this system. And the cartridge should be done, and it isn't. Now, there is noise, if I can demonstrate that. Turn up the volume, and you can hear, I think that's a little more acoustical or mechanical transmission of the noise that you're putting on the tone arm back to the cartridge. It should be more isolated than that, and it isn't. So I think the suspension inside the cartridge is getting a little hard. However, the sound is quite acceptable. When I put it back in the unit, I'll check and see what the output is. The output is a little low, but that may be normal for this cartridge. I'm not sure. So when I put it back in the unit, I'll check. Now, if it is getting a replacement cartridge for this 2G with the floating cartridge here, you can see that that goes up and down as I push on the cartridge. It's pricey. I can put in one of these replacement cartridges from the Orient, which won't have a 78 side to it. It'll just be one. Or my tendency is to put in a magnetic cartridge. And I did that once before back in the 70s, whereas I took this whole mechanism out and I managed to mount, I can't remember how, a Shure probably, Shure Brothers cartridge in, and it performed quite well. Part of me wants to do it, and part of me says, leave the doggone thing alone. It's going to be fine the way it is. Of course, if I put a magnetic cartridge in, I'll have to add a little preamp somewhere in the body of the stereo system. So, at any rate, let's just see it go through the cycle. Once more, lifts up. No record because this balance arm is now lowering it and prevents the tone arm from going over and shuts it off. And as you can see, it cycles through absolutely no problem, zero problems completely. Another note is this little stylus brush that comes standard on this changer was missing. So I took a paintbrush and mounted it through its ferrule down and put some shrink on it and shrunk it onto the post and put a daub of crazy glue so it's on there and it brushes the stylus every time the tone arm crosses it. And that's fine. That's what it was supposed to do. So this is now ready to go. I'm happy and I'm pleased. Now the next thing, which I hope to be able to video too, is cleaning the controls. I've tested the actual amp and the radio part of this system, and it all works. The controls are very scratchy, and probably the capacitors in the power supply and the coupling to the speakers should be replaced. I'll peel one off and see what it tests like, and we'll take it from there. So I can post this as the Zenith Allegro stereo system part 1, and that's it. So next time I see you, we will have survived the onslaught of the snow that's going to happen tomorrow, which is Thursday, and we'll see if we survive that, and I shall be back. All right, have a nice day, and thank you very much for watching.